years in the game. They got that phalanx upgrade, but it's also Dry Arabia, which is a rather open map. They're going to be trying to go for some town center expansions, but as we saw in previous series today, French can just match. They could keep you pinned down, and they can go for their own town center expansions. But this isn't Frisian Marshes, kind of like the matchup we saw earlier. So I'm excited to watch B on this. It feels like a mini game, the defense against those oncoming knights. And I play a lot of Abbasid, so I'm interested to see how he's able to stop Beastie's early pressure here at the French.
Yeah, as the saying goes, offense is the best defense. In a previous game,
Hmm.
Beastie was expecting B to go for an aggro strategy early on. Now he's up against the Abbasids, a civilization that generally plays a little bit more passive early game. One has to wonder if B is going to pull off something crazy aggro at the beginning, simply because it is
Yeah.
unexpected.
Yeah. Perhaps we could see some towers. Rams are cheaper now, right? 250 wood is all they cost. So perhaps some Rams, but hard to say. I haven't seen a ton of them today, but let's do this. We're getting into game number 2 of this best of 5 series. These are the finals of week 2, August weekly 2, and it is currently 1B, 0 Beastyqt with B looking to try to get a win off of the oppressive French with the Abbasid dynasty.
Indeed, we're playing Dry Arabia here, the only non-custom map that we have in this best of 5. Every other map that we have is a non-built-in map. This is as conventional as it goes, as traditional as it goes. Dry Arabia with Abbasids versus French, a matchup that both of these players are extremely familiar with.
Yep, very standard map. I mean, it should be pretty standard, but nothing's ever standard in a B game. Like,
True.
let's see, is he town center? Is he tower rushing or town center rushing yet?
No, not yet. It's only 1 minute. He usually starts doing crazy stuff at minute 2.
About minute 30 seconds. Yeah, he does have one. It is a 1 scout opening, I will point out, which I don't think is too crazy for the Abbasid. That's usually my choice to do there with that. And you got to think about the scouts do take longer to train, so it's a little bit of a kind of a bonus for B, right? He doesn't have to delay his second villager as long as BC does. But look, speaking of delaying villagers, what just happened right there?
Oh, shift clicking strikes again.
Yeah. Hate to see it. So a full trip back to drop some gold off. GG.
Well, it's a bit of an advantage there for Beastyqt for sure. Lack of optimization for B there at the start.
And there's a House of Wisdom. And let's look at these berries. He's got one kind of there in base, of course, and the other one is going to be towards the middle, which you don't love trying to hold berries in the middle of the map against French. There's deer out there too, so that's a lot of food in that area. So it could be a good spot for some map control. In this other corner, look at this beautiful berry demonstration here. We've got berries in gold in the eastern quarter. So those are kind of what are on the menu, assuming he goes for a second town center, right? He might not.
Yeah, it's a big question mark, especially with B playing as the Abbasids. The textbook of how to play Abbasids says you should go for a second TC. But then again, B is just taking those textbooks and then just tearing them to shreds because he's playing a completely different Age of Empires 4 than possibly any other competitive player.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think so far, the record number of TCs we've seen today was a total of 3 for one player.
I don't think we're going to exceed that.
And there we go. We've got the... I'm trying to think, okay, maybe he won't age up with the economic wing. Like what? He's going to age up with the military wing,
Trade
right?
wing, let's go.
Trade wing. Oh, man. I'd be so excited.
Especially against French.
Yeah, right. Good one.
A single civ that you don't want to play trade wing against.
Yeah, I really thought like military wing would synergize. Would be fun if like maybe it aged up faster or something. Like maybe age up faster and get a bit of a military edge. But I don't know.
It's tough, right? Because it's not like the military wing or even the culture wing is bad. Trade wing is a different story. It's more like a late game focused thing.
Yeah,
but it's just the fact that economy wing is so powerful. Like 25% cost reduction on villagers is such a massive bonus that it's simply something that you can never say no to.
Yeah, it is just such savings. Generally the same thing you say about the Dome of Faith too, but B showed us that we're all wrong with that one as well.
For the time being, it's going to be economy wing, good old-fashioned opening by B. He's yet to start mining stone though, so even if he goes for a second town center, it is going to be delayed. It remains to be seen whether Beast is going to contemplate going for a second town center, something that we see the French do more and more often. But I would think that Beasty first wants to get a confirmation on what B is doing before he commits to that.
Yep, and we see fresh foodstuffs. We've got wheelbarrow. Is he going to go straight for the stone, or typically you want to get a barracks online here, and you can work towards that golden age. That's what he's doing. Smart move. You don't want to just try to blindly go for that second TC.
Yeah, he's playing second TC over here, which raises the question whether he's going to play third TC. Two TCs with the Abbasids can be easily answered by the French playing two TCs, so in this matchup you are thinking about three if you're B. He's going to have the barracks close to the stone mines, so he's going to be able to protect those villagers. The bigger concern for him, I would think, is that Beasty is going to be aware of the fact that he's playing multi-TCs, also doing a beautiful job splitting up all that hunt, so finding a good spot for B is going to be a problem.
Yeah, he's really split those deer up, so that's going to be extremely obnoxious. I almost feel like you'd play it risky and put a town center up front to be on those deer and those berries, but not with how those deer are spread out now. I'm not sure how good that would be. We have our first spearmen trained up. Now, one change this week, that upgrade for those spearmen is cheaper, and I believe it researches just a little bit faster than it did before. So it's a nice little change there so that you have a little bit of a better chance of holding off those early knights you're going to encounter. Here comes the first one. Let's see how he does. Will he lose a villager?
Spearmen actually fighting against the scouts, which means that there was no brace against the knight, no upgrade also on those spears, but you have two of those weak villager being pulled back here, and it looks like the first attack was repelled. Second knight out there for Beastyqt on the way towards the base of B. And now we'll have to see whether Beast is going to decide to play with the archers, try to pressure that stone mine, or play two TCs himself. Looks like it's going to be the choice of archers.
And B's like, you know, I watched this Beastyqt build order. He's saying to himself, just make spears, just make spears, just make spears. And so far, it's working out. He hasn't lost any villagers quite yet. And BC's actually fallen back a little bit. And also, part of the challenge at this high level is players are so good at defending. It's a little bit different if you get there in the middle of the ladder, where you could usually just pick off villagers just all the time. B's probably not going to miss a beat with this.
Yeah, indeed, and he's gonna have that deadly combination of horsemen spearmen, something that we have seen is sufficient to counter the knights and archers play. And for now, it's a 1TC build from both of these players, so it's going to be perfectly fine for B to play on 1TC himself, because it's not like he is behind an eco. In fact, he might even be ahead, given the fact that he is using the berry bonus of the Abbasids.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to get his 300 stone there before he was pushed off there from gathering. We've got a few knights and archers running around mid. So his only option really is to that, I guess, the eastern side of his base. He could go south, but both of these are really far away. He's got some far food from his main base.
Yeah, and with those knights roaming around, it's going to be difficult to access those.
There he
looks like
goes.
he's moving out to the left side.
God, there's no deer there. That's by nothing.
Oh, that's so bad. That's a terrible town center spot. It's
Oh, he's
exposed.
gonna stick it.
Might as well place it to the berries then.
Man, and this is the effect of the fact that Beastyqt came through and he spread these deer out everywhere. And look at the problem this is going to cause him.
Yeah, that's a great point indeed. Beasty doing that, he disrupted that town center so much. And it's going to be an annoyance for B to deal with. Looks like B's also only staying on 2 TCs. Beasty's response, going for a second TC himself. You can see he's already mining the stone for that. For B, he kind of needs to make something happen very soon with those horsemen and the spearmen, I get the feel.
That will give him some nice line of sight, middle at least. You can kind of see what's going on. But look at these villagers. They're ripe for a raiding. Will they? Zoom. They got out of there. Wow. I can't believe we didn't lose any. Spearmen getting wrecked, though.
Yeah, nice little fight over there for Beastyqt. Loses a couple of archers back at home, but trades them off to some horsemen using that knight. Overall, he's containing B quite well. And as you said, he managed to decrease the efficiency of that second town center quite a bit, and also, he can just pin those spearmen inside the base of B with those knights roaming around. So, B, he desperately needs some walls up to sort of become the initiator of the fights rather than the one reacting to those.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging. Like, this would be also a very hard map to wall. There aren't any great choke points for him. He's just so open, right? It's Dry Arabia. That's why he picked this. He's no fool. We've got some villagers that are going to get a raid, at least... a few going down.
Quite a lot, actually.
Nice pull. I think 3 or 4 villagers. And this is the problem when you're playing against French. You miss One small opportunity, you blink, and boom, 4 villagers dead. And that's what's so scary about playing against these.
And off the back of this one, Beasty is ready to drop his second town center, so he would pull ahead in villagers by default anyways, and he's also able to pick off some villagers, whereas on the other side, that's just a distant dream for B. B is trying to pursue this as much as possible with Spearman, but he's playing a reactionary game, and you get the feel that this is exactly what the French want him to do. Just play a reactionary game while the French boom back at home.
Yep, and now we've got horsemen chasing those knights down. They should be able to actually get some kills there, but he's done some damage. He's already killed a few villagers. He's even the odds as far as the eco game goes, but those horsemen going to be faster than the knights, so he's able to pick those up as BC has fallen back to boom a little bit, but B's doing fine. Yes, he lost a few villagers, but he's okay with it. He's continuing to train military units.
Yeah. As long as the villager count is not far apart, B is fine with this one because his army is looking much better, and every single knight that's lost is a massive pain for Beasty because replacing them is very difficult, and you see this could be the second knight that gets picked off by the horsemen. This is where the extra movement speed that the horsemen have over the knights really comes into play.
And those knight pickups were huge because look, he did research chivalry. He was planning on taking those home and healing.
Oh, the brace!
And oh man.
That was painful for Beasty as well. He's gonna have to pull back his knights, and look at that. His archer range is even exposed. This could be taken down, and then he doesn't even have a response to the spears. This is scary for Beasty.
He could easily drop a ram right now if he wanted to and take out that archer range, or just do it with his units.
Yeah. B has seen the stone mine, so he's conscious about the presence of the second town center, trying to get there. Knights flanking around, spearmen responding in kind. Phalanx just now coming in. Range defense not there for B though, so those archers will be pretty decent against those spearmen initially.
Yeah, in a defensive situation, these archers will be just fine. He can really focus on more archers. But a third town center being dropped right now. So the eco of B looking pretty good.
I love this 1-2 punch. And Beasty's not going to be aware of that. Beasty has a scout, but I don't think he's going to be scouting in that direction. He's pinned inside his base. So this will be hidden for quite a while.
I mean, he might suspect it, but yeah. And now it's kind of, it looks like B is going to sit back. I wonder if he'll just focus on his eco and age, or if he's going to really push this feudal aggression against Beastyqt. Of course, French, they're fine sticking in H2 against your H3. Pretty okay if they can get a good amount of knights up. But looks like he's just kind of circling around for right now. Maybe going to pick up something down here.
I think seeing the army numbers, he should commit to this. He has the potential to do a ton of damage. He has seen what Beasty has. He knows that he's got a bigger army. He might be waiting for critical upgrades. We have seen him waiting for Phalanx. He might be waiting for blacksmith upgrades to come in. But I think B's got the potential to press onto this one. Finds a couple of berry villagers over here. Gets 1 kill for his trouble.
Yep. Looking at the villager count, though, Beast is up right now. And every villager he picks is going to help him. But maybe a raid coming mid. Look at that. Those knights. I think those are knights there in the middle of the map. Oh, yeah, boy. What is that? It looks like horsemen, but I think he sees it. So should probably be okay. Got to watch out for the run by of the main town center, right? Because that can only hold 15 villagers.
Yeah, Beasty feels like he needs to get some raids going over here, try to force the issue, try to force B to defend, because B has become the aggressor for a while. Beast is trying to change that. Those knights are intending to do that. And he might have spotted the villagers moving towards the berries. Instead, tries to hit the lumberjacks now. Comes in with a charge. Might get a few villagers for his trouble over here. Gets a beautiful surround out there. But I don't think he killed more than 1 villager here. Now could be losing the knights, though, to a surround.
Yeah, he's taking some of the pressure off the front of his base, though, because right now B's kind of focused on this. Yes, he did lose some villagers. And nothing on the berries.
Tremendous amount of idle time. Access to food is somewhat limited here for B, and it's slowing him down quite a bit.
Yep. He needs to almost just like put a garrison of spearmen all over the place or something. I could somehow had to deal with this without walls.
Still, third town center is unscouted over here, so Beast is yet to find out that he's going to be falling behind in terms of villagers. And look at this, B is also now stopping to produce army, instead thinking about Castle Age over here, and this could be scary. Because he could beat Beasty to Castle Age while also having a much more convincing army. And Beasty, as a response to Spearman Horseman, he's adding his own spears, but B, he could easily shift to just man-at-arms the moment he hits Castle Age, and suddenly Beasty could be in trouble if that happens.
and we see those knights being maybe picked up there. He's got a surround going on right now.
Ooh,
This is massive. Oh my gosh.
That is a
not
beautiful surround. Spearman also with the phalanx
Wow.
can reach over the heads of the horsemen. This is why this combo is so deadly for the Abbasids. So many of those pricey knights are going down here for Beastyqt. A loss that he possibly could not afford to let happen.
Yep, and now he's Loki. We got Beastie making his first ram of the day here mid-map, but having just lost his most powerful units in his army, there's a few knights running around, but that is a good pickup for B. Maybe we lose some villagers.
Yeah, a couple of villagers will be picked off over here. Bush now coming in from Beastyqt. He's the one adding the battering rams. I'm not so sure about this. Look at the army counts. 26 horsemen, 18 spearmen.
Yeah.
A lot more spears out there for Beastyqt. He actually gets a brace in there, but I don't think that he has enough
He's
to
training
deal
archers,
decisive
though.
damage.
Yeah, he is training archers, so luckily he's kind of seeing what's going on. He's got 1, 2, 3 archery ranges, so he's pivoting for that. Villager count right now, B's in a nice spot. He's gathered the forward food first, kind of, and he's still got some berries to fall back on. But there we go. Horseman charging forward, probably going to pop that ram.
Oh, beautiful charge over here. Spearman slightly misplaced, doing a tremendous amount of damage on that battering ram. A big investment from Beastyqt. Buying quite a lot of time here for B to get some archers on the field, and once he has those, he can take a decisive engagement here. Horseman once again tempted to dive in. They could jump on the battering ram, they could get rid of it. Indeed, battering ram is gonna go down. Now the phalanx spearmen, supported by the archers, should be able to get rid of most of Beastie's army here. The effective DPS is much higher for the Abbasid player, and it would be a surprise to see Beastie coming out victorious from that fight.
Yeah, also raids at the other side of the map. Now, a lot of horsemen going down. BC did have a ton of spearmen in that fight, but the shift to archers has been nice for B, as we see horsemen raiding in BCQ's base while all this has been going down. But villager count, B still in a sizable lead.
A big lead that is now. It's a 13, plus of course B now cleaning up most of Beastie's army. And look at that, it's not even the villager count, it's about the army count. 8 for Beastie and 38 for B, and now he's realizing that Beastie is also starving for food. He needs to expand towards those hunts, and this is not something that B is gonna let him do.
I mean, I don't know. I think B is showing us here that BC is right. You just got to make spears against French, and you'll be just fine, as he's looking to be in a very powerful position. Where are these villagers going? Is he trying to go to the deer?
I think he is going for the cheap torch
boy.
units. Remember, 25 food apiece, he has a lead with those, and he knows that he needs to cut Beastie off from food. The value, the potential value of you cutting off Beastie from food is something that could possibly justify pulling so many villagers to take this down, and then possibly even take the hunt for yourself, especially with only one tower standing.
Yeah, he's going to burn that tower down. You see his villagers picking off a few villagers and also pushing them off of the food right now, dropping his own tower. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just denying that food.
Also trying to get a wraparound on those knights. Wasn't gonna be able to do that. Still though, Beast is cornered within his own base over here. There's a tower to be taken down. But the army count is just stellar here for B, and this is where it gets scary. He can just maintain pressure with the army he already has, stop making units, go into Castle Age, and then finish off the game.
That repair there, he's going to be able to pick off a few villagers here, so that'll be nice, but B can afford them for right now. A lot of gold in the bank for Beastyqt. He's probably angry about it. You can't be happy about having so much gold in the bank when you're like staring down this situation.
And for a brief moment, B placed a mill on that berry patch on the left side. Decided to cancel that, but look at the wraparound once again. So many villagers just falling to the horsemen. Archers are slaying villagers on the wood line as well. Beastyqt struggling to maintain his eco because he's just lacking army quite badly.
Yeah, I want to point out just a little bit of military micro we've seen B doing. We've seen this twice now with this horseman. Is when he's pursuing his enemy, he runs until he's like through their ranks or almost to the front before he issues that attack move command, instead of just taking some shots at the back of them as they run away. And he's able to get more damage with that, even getting a surround on the knights that we saw earlier.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up, indeed. And he has done that multiple times. Ensures that he can get wraparounds, he can get surrounds, so some of the units won't be able to escape, and also it maximizes the damage output of your units, because essentially all of your horsemen will be dealing damage, as compared to just hitting the back of the formation with some of your front horsemen.
And we got some camels out here on the map. Going to be handing out some of that camel unease, although There's only 6 knights to be dealt with. He's chopping. Classic.
Oh man, this is getting painful for Beastyqt over here. Still only 6 knights and 7 spearmen. And look at the chop through. This is going to open up a brand new angle. We could even see some towers come up here for B. His army is stellar. 76 army on the battlefield as opposed to 13. He's got more army than the villager count of Beastyqt. Almost pop cap. And now the battering rams. This feels like it's a game over, and we could see B move on to a 2-0 lead.
I mean, chop through has always been a thing, but I almost wonder because of that map if people are going to be more likely to use it again, right? You saw that like on Black Forest, people would try it, but it's been a bit. We haven't seen as much.
Some of those guys got through, and they are on a mission. They want to take every single berry from the map.
This is the Great Berry Voyage. That's what they really wanted. They came over here to take the berries.
Well, he's maximizing his save bonus. You can't blame him for that.
Yes, and Horseman is continuing to raid. He's got troops everywhere, and the rams being built. These rams only cost 250 wood.
I feel like he doesn't even need those battering rams. That's just going to be the cherry on top of the cake, because Beasty isn't able to hold off all this assault with the archers, with the spearmen, with the horsemen. Look at that, 5 battering rams now knocking on the doorstep of Beasty. I don't see him being able to defend this. He's gonna pull Veils, but he's going to lose all of them.
Yeah, and the archers have moved back already to deal with him.
Yeah, it's like, it's a pick your poison scenario. You lose your TC or you lose your villagers. Beasty might be able to hold this one, but the price he's gonna pay for this is going to be astronomical. He's gonna have to sacrifice the next 20 minutes of the game to be able to hold this. And if he does that, he might as well just tap out.
Yeah, we got those knights running around, but he's not going to be able to raid himself back into this game right now. 117 villagers for B versus the 78 of Beastyqt. We see villagers being pulled right now to repair/fight the rams. And the archer's going to be there to meet them. Although there's knights on the front line, and his spears are not very close. So he might lose a ram or two, but at the end of the day, he's still picking off tons of villagers.
Yeah, at the stage that B is at, especially being 200 out of 200 population going into Castle Age, trading rams to villagers is fine for him. Beasty understands that too, and B cruises on to a second victory in a row here with the Abbasids taking down the French. 2-0 lead here for B in the finals of the 2nd August Weekly.
And there you have it, Abbasid with their phalanx spearmen having no problem. Even with, I thought he was kind of dealt a difficult kind of layout of his base there early on. He dealt the adversity. Even his BC did such a good job spreading his deer out, and that didn't stop